everybody! Welcome to the guide. Look who's back! Yay! Will has returned, and we are glad to have him back here on the guide. And we talk more about that, but we have a lot to cover. So, welcome back. Moving on.
Well, thank you.
Going to talk about Cars 2. Did you like the first Cars?
I loved the first Cars.
Really?
Yeah.
You're super stoked about it? Because I really think that for Cars 2, however you felt about the first movie, you'll probably feel pretty much the same for this one. Like, the level of quality is pretty close to the same. The sequel's slightly darker. Cars die, which was kind of shocking at first.
That's an interesting concept.
I know, it's a little weird. But, you feel slightly removed from it because they are cars. It's not like watching, people die. But it's slightly darker. Don't worry, it's not like, all gory or scary or anything. I mean, it's a really family-friendly movie, but just be aware that, some cars meet their untimely demise. And it's got a more complicated story. It's all about, it's kind of like ripped from the headlines, fossil fuels, running on oil, alternative fuels, how do we save the planet, some of that type of stuff. And then there's a whole spy plot mixed into that as well. I wasn't sure that Cars as spies was going to work, like as a James Bond movie.
Yeah, that's how I feel just after seeing the previews for the movie. It's like, you're trying to make this more than it needs to be.
Yeah, but you know what? It works really well. I mean, it's kind of exciting. It's fun. They do a good job following some of those classic James Bond spy tropes. That's cool. They do a really good job with it, and it's enjoyable. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as the first one. I didn't think this one had as much heart, but it had a lot more action. It visited, all over Europe, so visually it was really stunning, and it was enjoyable. And it had a great story about the importance of friendship. Mater and Lightning McQueen learn how important their friendship is. And, I was talking with my kids about that. How amazing is it that we get to be friends of God? And even when we act like Mater and do something totally embarrassing, or God's like, not that he would ever do that, but anybody else would be like, I don't know that person. God never does that. He remains faithful, true, will never leave us or forsake us. So it's got a great message about friendship and how we can be glad that God is our friend and that he's a friend sticks closer than a brother.
But like Mater, God is ready to tow us out of any sticky situation.
That he is. He's a good friend to have around. So, Cars 2, is it something you want to race out and see? Like I said, depends on what you thought about the first one. Overall, I would give it a 5 out of 7. It's not Pixar's best, but even Pixar's non-best is usually better than everybody else's.
These days.
So, totally enjoyed Cars 2. Had a good time with it. It was a good, decent Pixar film. Exactly what you would expect.
Shoot.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, yo. Hey, Steve-O here, and, Will.
What's up, dude?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Good.
All right, glad you're back.
I spent many hours on the road with my 3DS.
Yes.
And most of those hours with the 3D turned off because I was nauseous.
Yeah, our impressions of the 3DS now. Like you said, you spent many hours on the road and you got to play it. In a car, the 3D, I couldn't even imagine how horrible that would be.
It just doesn't work out because you're constantly bouncing, and if you don't hold it at like the right angle, the screen... Yeah,
Yeah, I have a Lazy Boy that's my gaming corner in my house, and I even have a hard time sitting in a rocking chair with the 3DS because literally you have to hold it absolutely still in order to get that 3D angle. It's like those old pictures in the mall where you would have to stare at it and the image would pop out. If once you lost it, your eyes just kind of cross, and that's exactly what.
But I will say, when you do have the angle right, the 3D is so cool,
gorgeous.
And especially for games that really take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Like
Ocarina of Time. Pre-Ocarina, I was thinking, man, $250 for this gaming system. What is worth it so far? My thumb, I wanted to give the system a thumbs up, but I couldn't because my thumb hurt so badly because it feels like the buttons are a little close together. It seems a little tiny, and it can cramp your thumb. But the good thing about having a cramped thumb means I've been playing Ocarina of Time for like 19 hours.
And
so
it's sad because we can actually keep track of our gaming log on it. and it's been 19 hours.
It's pretty sad. But yeah, as someone who played the original Ocarina of Time, that game single-handedly got me dropped out of college. I'm sad to say. I spent many hours the first time around and was wondering, is it going to be worth it to rehash this once again? And I'm happy to report, absolutely. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've noticed with the 3DS, the joystick, all the running around with that Zelda includes, like, I have to keep so much pressure on the joystick, otherwise my thumb will slip off of it,
right?
And it kind of gets sore.
Yeah, and you can only use the actually analog stick. You can't use the D-pad for this one for movement. So.
I'd like to be able to use the D-pad.
Yeah.
But it is nice that they have the menu set up with such quick access on the bottom screen.
Yeah.
You can get to all your gear and do quick changes.
Yeah, I had to really think about things I didn't like in order to not give this a perfect score. And there was very few things. You know, the saving of the game sometimes is frustrating when you're in the middle of an area far away and you save it.
And it starts you back in the forest.
Yes!
It's so annoying.
It is very annoying because you're like, dude, really? Because I'm pretty sure I was halfway across Hyrule when I saved it. So why am I all of a sudden here? But yeah, that's literally my one negative comment I can say. Other than that, the 3D is absolutely gorgeous. The graphics look incredible on the 3DS. I think because I played it before, there was some familiarity as far as where I needed to go, what I needed to do, and yet I was still stuck for like 2 hours on one point, not remembering how to open the stupid fish's mouth. Drove me crazy. But that's what Google's for. So
yeah, I experienced a similar issue of trying to hunt down chickens in Kakario Village.
Yeah. But that's why we're called the guide. So let me just give you a quick strategy guide. Capture a fish before you go to the big whale thing. Feed it to him. He will open his mouth. Bam. There you go.
That's your tip for the day.
Yeah. So overall, my impressions of the game, I actually still have to give it a perfect score. It is beautiful. It is the reason why I did not get a degree in college, and it is probably the reason why the 3DS is now worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, there aren't any other games like Ocarina of Time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I would give it a 7 out of 7 too,
Absolutely.
just because it's built so well. And now with the 3D, I wasn't quite sure how it would work out, but somehow they managed to make everything just huge looking in the game.
It's amazing. So, for more in-depth on Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3DS and our full impressions on the 3DS system itself, make sure you check out HollywoodJesus.com. And next week, dude, Transformers. Dark Side of the Moon. Or Dark of the Moon. I always think Dark Side of the Moon. But that'd
Transformers
be like,
and Pink
that's
Floyd.
Like, yeah.
All right.
That was the Wizard of Oz, and it never really worked out. I never saw it like that. So, yeah. Transformers and, of course, looking at Pilot Wings 3DS as well. Plus, a lot more.
Another game that really takes advantage of the 3D function of the 3DS.
There you go.
Woo.
That's Will. I'm Steve-O. Yo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I think he went and saw Cars 2 again.
See you later.